Commissioners meeting, including a lease agreement with a longtime Joplin business, and the latest on an ongoing housing development project. KOAM News at 10 is next.
iOS and Android.
Now at 10, a long-standing Joplin-based defense and aerospace business could be expanding to Pittsburgh. Plus, possible changes coming for Pittsburgh's Silverback Landing housing development, and a federal bill might have an impact on a long-time four-state radio station.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh City Commissioners approve a lease agreement with a Joplin-based company that specialized in making batteries for defense and aerospace systems. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Eagle Pitcher plans to build a manufacturing facility near the Pitt State campus. It's the first of 3 projects planned off South Rouse Avenue near the Tyler Research Center. The Eagle Pitcher facility is expected to create 40 to 50 jobs. Company officials say other national defense projects pushed back their initial lease start date. Groundbreaking for the new facility is now planned for July 24th. Pittsburgh commissioners also voted in favor of a resolution that could lead to changes to an ongoing housing development project. Project in question, Silverback Landing, located directly east of the new PSU development that includes Eagle Pitcher. The Silverback Landing development started in 2018, creating middle to higher income housing in Pittsburgh. It's a reinvestment housing incentive district, a state program which helps developers build infrastructure by reimbursing costs through property taxes. According to the city, progress on the project was impacted by the pandemic and supply chain issues. Currently, only 22 out of the 60 planned homes for the development have been built. This resolution would allow the city to hold a public hearing to consider changes to the Silverback Landing project, including an extension of the timeline.
Our goal is to build houses in Pittsburgh and to see this development come to fruition for the people that have purchased homes out there or the people that live in surrounding neighborhoods to get what they were promised. And so we're really hoping that this acquisition would do that.
The public hearing to discuss the tax incentive extension is planned for August 12th. Big changes could soon be on the way for a longtime radio station. KRPS has served the 4 states as the area's sole national public radio station for nearly 40 years. But a bill before federal lawmakers could soon mean changes, including to programming. If approved, the bill would strip funding for hundreds of public television and radio stations, including KRPS. The bill is scheduled to go before the Senate next week. It's already passed the House.
Live Southeast Kansas radio outlet with live news, for instance, from Kansas that's produced in Kansas for Kansans. We have a collaboration now, as far as I know, 8 years with Kansas News Service. They employ 2 reporters at the State House in Topeka to cover the legislative session.
That there's a time we have to pick and choose what we're going to be paying for. And I think that's one of the things that's not necessary. I think that people can get media from so many different ways now. You know, everybody has a phone with multiple media outlets, and some of the needs that we had for public radio, public TV years ago just isn't there now.
KRPS raises funds through twice annual donation drives. That's in addition to receiving resources from Pittsburgh State's foundation and underwriting. The station also receives about $23,000 annually from the state of Kansas. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy now for a first look at the weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a hot, humid day for us today. Plus, we had some afternoon, evening thunderstorms kind of drifting through the region back toward the south and to the west. Now that we've pretty much lost the heating of the day, these storms are pretty much done for the night. But there is another chance as we go into Wednesday. Here's 6:30 in the morning, sitting into lower 70s across the region. Temperatures by afternoon should be near 90, but again, a spotty little shower or thunderstorm is very possible across the region. We are going to watch a batch of storms try to get in here late tomorrow night, but I think they're going to really try to fall apart, but something we'll keep our eyes on for sure. 87 for us today, started at 70, average highs 90, so pretty close to where we should be, but our temperatures actually are going to heat back up over the next few days. We're going to look at that here in a bit.
See you soon. A Baxter Springs business says it's bouncing back from recent storms. 3.5 months ago, Sleepy Girls furniture got slammed by some nasty spring storms. Flooding ruined a good amount of merchandise, including many mattresses. Despite the work ahead, Sleepy Girls owner says he's ready to reopen to customers and the community.
Well, I figured it didn't matter when I opened, it was going to be a work in progress whenever I did it. And if I'm open, at least I can start dealing with my customers again. And I miss having them in here.
Sleepy Girls reopened for business today. Heslin says the store should return to fully stocked in about a month. The flooding disaster in Texas is now so devastating the death toll has surpassed that of Hurricane Harvey. More than 100 lives have been lost and many more remain missing days after catastrophic flash flooding devastated the Texas Hill Country. In Kerr County, the Guadalupe River surged 26 feet in minutes, leaving little time for residents to escape. Search and rescue crews continue to comb through mud and debris, though hopes of finding survivors are fading. A church in Noel, Missouri is stepping up after witnessing the devastation left behind by that storm. Elk River Baptist Church is now on a mission, collecting everything from toiletries to baby food. And they're not just sending help, they're delivering it themselves straight to the Lone Star State.
They're going to need support, prayer. A lot of prayer, a lot of support from their family and friends. You know, like I said, it's going to stick with them forever, you know. They're going to be opening up the gym here Wednesday and Thursday, so people can drop off donations here.
If you'd like to help, you should know we've offered a link to the Elk First Baptist Church on our website, koamnewsnow.com. After the tragic Texas flooding, some might wonder if Missouri state parks and campgrounds are ready for flooding or other dangerous weather. Well, Nick Kelly spoke with park officials and campers at Bennett Spring about preparedness, no matter what Mother Nature throws their way.
Our wet spring and active start to the summer hasn't stopped Doug McManus from coming down from Marshall with his wife to spend the month at Bennett Springs State Park.
We're campground hosts for the month of July, which means we check and make sure campers are in the right spot and just take care of their needs.
Bennett Springs State Park is no stranger to flooding whenever the Niagara River runs high. Campers Glenda and Roger Smith from Scott City dealt with flooding on an early morning at this site years ago.
We were about the same spot and the water was coming up, and luckily it was the day we were going to leave anyway. So, but we did have to leave and take the back way out.
That knock on their door came from park staff very early that morning. Missouri Department of Natural Resources says all their state parks have flood and severe weather plans in place. For Bennett Springs, staff will inform campers of any flood watches or warnings and ask visitors to secure any belongings. If the spring gauge reaches 4 feet and water reaches the road edge near the Holland Dam, they'll evacuate spring cabins 1 through 12. Campground 1 will evacuate when the Windyville gauge reaches 10 feet. Not too long ago, in an effort to keep park goers and campers safe, the park put up 2 outdoor warning sirens, one here at Campground 1 and one at the Springhead. Those sirens can be heard throughout the park. The department and park staff also encourages campers to come prepared with a weather radio, sign up for weather alerts, and don't ignore warnings from the staff. They also want campers to do what Doug and the Smiths do every day.
We check the forecast. I have the weather app on my phone, you know, and look at it and for this area, and we just try to be aware.
Now, if you should awake to or find yourself in a flash flood situation, park officials advise you not to leave the campground. Generally, you should stay put. No national safety organization will tell you to try to drive through flash flooding or cross swollen creeks. The flooding itself is usually gone as fast as it comes up. Fair season has returned to our area. Coming up, we're going to take you to a horse and mule show courtesy of Jasper County Youth Fair. But up first, a viral trend makes its way to the 4 states and some homeowners are speaking out.
Time for the Cherokee County Fair. 22 today. Bishop and Hayes, auto injury law. It's all we do.
A Southwest Missouri man speaks out after his front door was recently kicked in. As Adam Woodbury discovers, it might have been a prank as part of a viral trend.
As a teenager, you may not think that it's serious, but one wrong door, one wrong house, and that, it can spell really bad things for you.
When Matt Brock went to bed on Sunday night, he didn't expect to be woken up by someone pounding on his door in the middle of the night.
So we were just chilling in our bed. Kids were going to sleep. Our boys are a little restless at night. So, you know, we heard some banging, but we thought maybe it was just the boys up.
It was just before midnight when he heard a loud crack followed by a boom, and he knew it was his front door.
First priority was to get my boys out of their room and into my bedroom with my wife and kind of check out the situation. Upon making my way to the hallway, I noticed that my door was broke open, like heavily broke open. Frame was completely busted, door was open.
His wife called the police. He went outside and heard footsteps running away from his home on Garton Road. And he believes it's all part of a viral TikTok trend.
There's trends where kids go and kick doors and, you know, do all the dumb young stuff. So I kind of conveyed that to the cops. The cops, you know, were pretty concerned because of the force that was used to break my door in.
Ozark police declined an interview, saying the case was under investigation. But other police departments have also dealt with viral trends.
Going to a stranger's home and just kicking in the door without knowing them or anything like that. You never know what's going to be, you never know what's on the other side of that door.
Chief John Spence with the Flippin, Arkansas police says his department hasn't come across this specific trend, but it's dealt with others.
Vandalism has its consequences. If you damage someone's property, it can be a misdemeanor or a felony.
In Matt Brock's case, he's already gotten his door fixed, but now he worries another prank like this could have far worse consequences.
Make sure you know where your kids are at. Make sure you know what they're doing. There's nothing wrong with having kids roaming around, being kids, but when you have them doing really dumb stuff that can get them hurt or somebody else hurt.
The viral challenge isn't going unpunished. 2 Florida teens are now facing felony burglary charges after they were caught on camera kicking in a neighbor's front door near Orlando Sunday night. Doug returns next with a complete look at our forecast, and a little bit later, Spiva Center for the Arts is looking for a few good men and women for its Veterans Art exhibit.
Well, it turned out to be hot and humid once again for us today. We had scattered thunderstorms during the morning hours, and then again some more popped up late this afternoon into the evening. Look how they kind of drifted back toward the south and to the west. Usually our thunderstorms go from west to east, but we just don't have the upper level flow to drive them that way now. So our weak flow is out of the north, and that's why these thunderstorms kind of drifted back toward the south and to the west throughout the evening hours. All right, let me take you through the next few days. We're going to jump into Wednesday morning. Temperatures near 70. As we go through the day, we'll stop right around the noon hour. Most of us are going to be into the mid 80s. Now, we can't rule out, again, some spotty hit and miss little thunderstorms trying to get going once again on Wednesday afternoon. Probably not quite as numerous as what we did see today, but there's still going to be a few out there. Most of us 89, 90 to about 91 degrees for afternoon highs. Tomorrow night, complex of thunderstorms will try to get in, most likely will fall apart as it works into our northern counties. This is going to be Thursday morning. As we continue through Thursday, southerly winds heat up again. There's a slight chance there could be an isolated random thunderstorm. I'm going to keep it dry right now, but again, high temps 90 to about 92 degrees. And then heading into Thursday night, we'll watch even some more thunderstorms kind of building out to the west. Humidity has been higher. Dew points have been up there all day long today. We've been sitting 70 to about 75 degrees. That is measuring the amount of humidity in the atmosphere at the surface in a degree fashion. Puts us in that kind of muggy to soupy range across the region. Our heat indices are going to be up there as well, 95 to about 100 as we go into Wednesday afternoon. Let's do it again as we go into Friday, Thursday, most of us 95 upwards to about 100 degrees. That's the way it's actually going to feel on your skin. 85 by noon, high temp, right around 91 as we go into your Wednesday. Let's look down the road. We've been dominated by a big dome of high pressure, and waves are kind of rotating around that high. Now this high starts to break down as we go into Friday and allows a wave to drift through as we go into the weekend. In return, that's going to up our rain chances once again. So let's take a look at it. Let's go into Friday. Heat up, some thunderstorms trying to get in Friday night into Saturday morning. Then again, late Saturday, Saturday night, and into Sunday. And then again, late Sunday into Sunday night and into Monday. So we could get some decent amounts of rain as we go through the weekend into early next week. Same pattern we've been in over the past 9 months. It keeps us pretty wet at least once or twice a week, it seems like. 91 on your Wednesday. Let's go 92 on your Thursday. 93 on Friday. A little bit cooler with those showers and thunderstorms as we head into the weekend. Right back into the 90s again early next week.
Doug, thanks. Fair season is here, and the 68th annual Jasper County Youth Fair is in full swing. Today, 4-H exhibitors showed off their livestock and all of their hard work at the Horse and Mule Show. Through 4-H, the exhibitors learned how to feed, fit, and show their animals, developing lifelong skills. The fair runs through Saturday. Some drivers in Joplin might want to seek alternate routes tomorrow. Crews are going to begin work at 8 a.m. on South St. Louis Avenue from 6th to 7th Streets. The area will be closed to traffic as Spire Gas plans to install infrastructure. This daytime closure will run from Wednesday through Friday, but the area should reopen at 4 each day. Excuse me. Neighborhood traffic will still be accessible to residents. Still ahead, Missouri Southern Volleyball releases its schedule, and the Joplin Outlaws continue their road trip.
We are coming down the stretch of the 2025 summer collegiate baseball season. The Joplin Outlaws played their first game way back in May, and now they're hoping to finish strong for the last couple weeks of the regular season. Tonight, the Outlaws begin a 3-game set against the Piney Woods Timber Hogs. Battle of first and last place in the Mid-America League. We'll show you those standings in a second. And the Outlaws win it. Final score this evening, 7-4. Joplin designated hitter Mark Ross leads the way at the plate. He goes 2 for 3 with 2 home runs and 4 RBI. Here are those standings entering play tonight. Outlaws have a 2.5 game lead on Abilene for first place. Sherman is 3.5 back of the Flying Bison. It's been this way for most of the summer. There's a pretty big split between 3rd and 4th place. Top 4 teams will make the playoffs early next month. Once the Outlaws get finished with these 3 games down in White Oak, they return to the 4 states to play 3 games in Fort Scott at LaRoche Baseball Complex. That's this weekend against Texarkana, Friday through Sunday. And on Friday's game, we find out the name of the Fort Scott expansion team, which will play in the Mid-America League next summer. Missouri Southern Volleyball had a bit of a turbulent start to its offseason. Back in January, head coach Kelly Carlisle resigned. Just a couple months later, Kelly Richardson was hired as her replacement, but she then resigned after less than a week on the job, and former interim head coach Josh Moore has since assumed that position once again. Yesterday, we find out what the schedule will look like for Moore in his first full year directing the Lions. They released this on social media. They begin with 3 tournaments at Missouri S&T, Southwest Baptist, and Henderson State in September. Lions don't play at home until October 10th when they host Newman. Then they face Pitt State in Joplin the next afternoon. Afterwards, the Lions go on a road trip to Washburn, Emporia State, and then a non-conference matchup with Drury and Springfield, followed by 5 consecutive MIAA home matches. 2 on the road then. Those are against Pitt State and Newman to close it out. Last season, the Lions finished just 6-22. They did not qualify for the MIAA tournament. In pro sports, the Royals and Cardinals are each in action this evening. Kansas City is hoping to clinch its 2nd consecutive series victory, and that's exactly what it does tonight. Royals take down the Pirates 4-3. Nick Lofton hit a go-ahead 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th. Then Pittsburgh ties it up in the 8th. Lofton comes through again with a walk-off single in the bottom of the 9th to win it. Kansas City is off to a 6-2 start to the month of July, and will go for the sweep of the Pirates tomorrow. In St. Louis, Cardinals and Nationals are only in the 5th inning right now. That's because the game went into a 2-hour, 15-minute rain delay before we're getting started. As we come on the air, Redbirds lead 3-2. Washington scored the first 2 runs of the night. Then the Cardinals answered back with 3 in the 3rd off a Brendan Donovan home run and Alec Burleson double. Back to the Royals, though. This has really been exactly what they needed. Been streaky for so long, but the pitching has really come through. In all those 6 wins, they've only allowed 3 runs or fewer in all of them.
Yeah, you're going to win a lot of games if they can keep that up.
That's right.
We'll be right back.
Well, it looks like it's going to be pretty quiet from this point on for the rest of the night. 91 on your Wednesday, random pop-up storms, especially in the afternoon. 92 Thursday, 93 by the time Friday rolls around. Better chances for widespread showers and thunderstorms rolling in on Saturday, Sunday, and also on Monday.
Doug, thanks. Spiva Center for the Arts is putting the call out for veterans' works of art. This installation, titled Unbreakable, the Veteran Spirit, will feature works of art submitted by military veterans. The goal is to show the brotherhood and connection that's formed when someone joins the military.
In which it breaks down a lot of barriers. You know, when you are side by side with somebody and you're trusting them with your life, some of the stuff that we worry about in our society just kind of falls away. And it helps us to focus on what really matters, the humanity that unites us, instead of like some of the things that divide us.
Head over to KOAMnewsnow.com for more information, including submission guidelines. Unbreakable, the Veteran Spirit, runs from September 4th through the 27th. The submissions have to be well before that, though, so check it out. Final sports note.
In Major League Baseball, another impressive showing tonight from Jacob Mizorowski. The Crowder College product strikes out 12 in 6 innings. He only allows 1 earned run as the Brewers beat the Dodgers.
Well, he entered the league blazing, and now he's hot still.
He is.
Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m., and let's make it a great tomorrow.